Just watched a very excellent video by Scene4. I'll link it out down below. Definitely follow them, give them a watch. But they were bringing up the fact that we don't really allow for systems of social engagement to really be defined in D&D and other role-playing systems. And I realize it's a bit further than that because this has been going on a lot in this theory has been circulating around in game design for a while, and it's a really good theory that there are basically 4 quadrants of different types of player experiences. And players can have all 4 or different subjects, but there are 4 different quadrants that players sort of enter when they try to explore a game. There are people who, there are players who interact with players. There are players who compete with players. There are players who compete with the game, and players who interact with the game. Interacting with the game is playing the interacting with the game is exploring what the game actually has to offer, learning all the things, learning the world building, all that type of stuff. The players who compete with the game are people who try to break the game, people who try to learn all the mechanics, learn what the most optimal playstyles are. People who who interact with players, people who build fandoms, build social bases, build collaborative experiences, people who compete with players are typically like trolls or players who enjoy competitive PvP combat and all that. And I realized that also exists for the characters in the systems. So for in a collaborative world like D&D, the game must offer the ability for the character themselves to interact with those things. We have lots of player versus player competing with player characters who are specifically designed to go and hunt down and fight other players. We have some players who interact with players that, like bards and stuff, who have social-based characters. They're not really defined, they're not really elaborated, they're just sort of assumed they exist. We have players we don't really have a lot of actual systems in place at all, except that are really defined, except for the characters who compete with characters. We don't have a lot of exploration tools for the character who just wants to interact with the world. We don't have we have some rule-busting magical spells for the wizards who want to compete with the world, who want to break the world and learn its mechanics. But that's really high-tier stuff. That's not really stuff that actual low-level characters can really see as an objective goal. That's something you say, oh, maybe if I'm high-level, I'll be able to try to break the world. But that's not really an actual goal a character can try to do in the setting. So that's a thing we need to work on, I think. We need to elaborate to allow for those 4 quadrants in the actual world.